like some old tops. My rhyme steady going, please don't ask me if the flow stop. Deep in the pocket like the roof on a drop top. 101 Dalmatians, the way your boy drop dots. Man, hold up, I got you diving when I'm juking. The clips so sick, like the smell from when you're pooping. I ain't get down and click the sub button and hit the bell, cause I got a lot more of it. Yeah, who's mains? Terrence House head, who's mains? Batman, Bruce Wayne.
What's goody, what's poppin', y'all? It's your boy Who's Mans. You already know what time it is. I'm gonna try a different kind of video. This is gonna be more so on run stick, how to read some of these holes when you're running through them, and what to look for, especially. There's a lot of little tells as to like why a certain player may get off of a break or a block. I mean, you know, maybe something you can do to get better cuts. As you see there, nice little jump cut. And this is literally all left stick. I'm not using the triggers. I'm not doing the hard cuts on any of those. You're gonna see me just practicing, just running. And just know that when you run the ball, you're not gonna get 7-8 yards every single time. There's gonna be times when you only get 2-3 yards, or you'll lose yards. So the fact that you lose yards on a run should not be the determining factor of you stop running. Like, you shouldn't just stop running because you don't pick up yards every single time you run the ball. You're gonna get stopped behind the line. But when you practice not holding the right trigger all the time, when you practice not even holding forward on your joystick, you know, down all the way, like practice maybe kind of like fluttering the stick almost like forward, and you'll see me kind of like stop and go behind the line a little bit, and it's, I gotta let that guard pull and get in the hole there. But obviously you can't, you know, wait too long, or else you know, you'll get tackled in the backfield. So you got to be patient enough to let those blocks set up and things like that. And you'll see here, like Campbell, man, he's in the backfield a lot, and he's just gonna be the reason why, you know, you'll get tackled in the backfield a lot. It's because he has that inside stuff, so he'll blow a lot of stuff up. Like right there, he blows a lot of stuff up. On those kinds of plays, man, at the least you can do is just get to the line of scrimmage, and that's why they say you need to be a north and south runner instead of the east and west. And really, you just want to be a north runner. You don't want to be running backwards, but north. Just remember, you want to stay north instead of getting east and west on the field, because that's how you end up running for a long time without getting anywhere. If you can, try to get back up to the you know, the line of scrimmage. As you see here, some of these runs, man, then I'm not getting anywhere, but here I'm letting the block set up, and that was a perfect example of me letting that guard get up in the hole and you know, set this block up. And you see there, these guards this year actually do kind of like run up in the hole, and they'll try to actually seek somebody to block. But the thing is, I noticed, even this is stuff I did before today, is I would outrun those blockers, and sometimes you gotta like chill out and let the block develop. They may not run up as quickly as you like, but they will, you know, get that block. And you see there, I mean, when you're patient and you just, you know, make those plays, man, you can get a lot of yards on plays that look like they shouldn't have a lot. Like right there, I kind of outran my blocker. Had I taken the chance to figure something out there, I would have probably picked up more. As you see there, 5 yards, where if I'm just holding down the right trigger and just moving forward, trying to go forward, probably not picking that up. Right there, that's a case of me just being too cute in the backfield, you know. But I'm telling y'all, really practice some of this stuff. And you're gonna see, I'm gonna show you some examples in some solos where I just let the blocks develop. Like right there, perfect example. Just let the blocks develop, and then got up the field. And there's a nice point in which you can hit the right trigger to get away from tackles sometimes. But yeah, I'm going to show you guys this run. This was an all-out blitz. And right here, I used the hard cut to get out of the way, and I at least get back to the line of scrimmage, whereas if I didn't, I would have probably gotten tackled in the backfield. Right there, let the block set up a little bit and, just pick up a few yards. But, as long as you are gaining on plays that you probably shouldn't be gaining, you're doing well. And this is how you can really maximize the amount of yards you pick up. Right there, once again, I kind of outrun the guard. I don't let him set up and block. So when you do that, you give yourself the chance to pick up a lot more yards. So this is another one where I wanted to show you guys, like, you got to look at the position of your guards and tackles and stuff, the people that are blocking. That was a perfect example. If you see that they're leaning towards a certain way, you kind of want to go on the opposite side of where they're leaning. You see right there, 56 was leaning to the right, and I go to the left. Now, if he was leaning more to the left, I would have tried to cut directly in between that guard and the center there. But usually when you don't rush it, you can pick up big gains like that. This also applies to when you're rolling out with a quarterback. You see right there, I take the time to try to stop to throw the ball. It definitely helps. Right here is a play that I use on an end around with Justin Jefferson. You see right there, because I'm not holding the right trigger and sprinting everywhere, I was able to avoid a defender. I'm telling you, when you're doing that and you're not even holding fully forward on that stick, you can make some really, really precise cuts on there, and that'll result you in a lot of yardage. Here's another play and another solo where I was able to make an insane cut, and don't know how I was able to do it, but it's just insane because there's a couple things that you need to look at. You're going to look at the interaction between 79 and that other tackle. You see here, I start to cut back inside. The reason being is, if you look at the positioning of that tackle and also the linebacker coming in behind him, you'll see he's positioning outside. Now, if I keep going to the outside there, he's going to block shed and get to me. Those are little tells that you can take when you're running the ball. Usually if they favor to one side, they'll usually always favor to one side, and that's kind of like how linemen will shape that hole. It's like, okay, you know what, I'll give you the left, but you're not taking the right. And so I'm looking at this right here, so I immediately see, okay, 79 has him shielded. I can cut it back behind him on the other side, because there's no way he's going to be able to fight through 79 and tackle me through him like that. My pulling guard 74 is coming in behind him, knowing that I'm cutting back inside to take that linebacker, and then you see 76 further up the field there has that linebacker, but he's also inside, so I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm going to have to cut and go directly, in this direction towards the safety over here, Jamal Adams. So I immediately, obviously, I've already decided to make this little cut back, because, hey, you know what? As long as I can make this harder for people to tackle me, I'm going to do it. And like I said, this is not going to be an overnight thing where you can just immediately do it. But when you stop holding forward so heavily down, it makes it so much easier to make these little intricate cuts when you're running the ball. So, see, we cut back, and 76 doesn't make a good enough block. He just kind of shoves him in that direction. So the second I see that, I'm going to end up cutting it back to the other side, because I'm like, okay, well, I know that I have the leverage from 79. He's holding that block really well. 74 is cutting up to block the linebacker. I should be able to squeeze directly in between 79 and 74 was my thought in this. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm cutting. He's running back into me. I don't know if 74 is going to try to block one linebacker or the other. You see right here, just because of how gummed up it gets, that linebacker runs too far forward, and right there I'm able to cut directly in between them to get past them and pick up some more yards. Boom. I'm telling y'all, y'all really take the time to figure out how to run the ball, you can pick up some yards that you didn't think you'd be able to pick up, or you'll see, you'll start to understand where the hole is. You'll understand a little bit better as to why, like, Le'Veon Bell was so good at running the ball. It's because he was super, super patient, and that's kind of like who I modeled this after, is Le'Veon Bell, where I'm trying to be as patient as possible behind the line of scrimmage, and then when I need to be urgent, just, you know, obviously put on the burners. And this is the last one, I promise y'all, but this is just a straight up inside zone. Once again, this isn't a solo, but like I said, this applies in head-to-head because nobody uses defensive linemen really. And even if they are using safeties and stuff, I mean, it's still going to apply. Usually users are a little bit over-aggressive in trying to get, you know, in the hole or whatnot. They're a little over-aggressive, or they'll try to shoot. And when you're doing this, it's going to make it a lot harder for them to tackle you. It's just something I've noticed. So when you're doing inside zones, one thing that you need to do is you run directly at the center's butt. Reason being, it just depends on the defensive alignment. So like if they just have 4 defensive linemen and 1 linebacker, right, and you have a bunch of other people on the other side, what's going to happen on these inside zone runs is for instance, so I was lined up on the left, your center and your right guard, or if you're lined up on the other side, your center and your left guard are always going to double team the nose tackle, or that defensive tackle that's, you know, closest to the center. They're always going to double team him, and then they'll rub off and go to the second level and take the closest threat linebacker. So you see here, boom, I'm running at his butt, and it makes it easier because say the linebacker on the other side isn't there, and you know, somebody is coming through this gap that I'm running through, but you also see that something else is opened up on that left side. It makes it easier for you to be able to maybe cut back, or if you run at his tail like this and 71 gets super far upfield, but you need to go outside, then it makes it easier for you to cut, you know, back to the outside. It just makes it a lot easier for you to make several different reads. Now, when I'm at this point, I get away from it because I haven't been holding the turbo, and I actually was not even fully forward on the left stick moving. But the second that I had an ounce of space, I moved forward and I hit the right trigger completely, and it made it a little harder for him to gauge where to dive and how to dive, because he's used to, you know, I think it has something to do with programming, but it ends up working out kind of like how it would in real life, where you're like, oh, he's not running that fast, and as soon as they get to the open space, they, you know, put on that burner, you're like, oh, he's going. So yeah, anyway, this is the last one for sure. You just gotta practice on when to use the right and left triggers, when to go fully forward, and all that good stuff. But anyway, I'll see y'all later. I'm out.